Who's a player Mariner fans really need to start talking about? Find out in today's video. So it's pretty common knowledge that the Mariners are a pitching-rich team. They have a few guys like Brian Wu, Bryce Miller, and even Logan Gilbert, some may say, to use as trade bait. And there are teams like the Tampa Bay Rays, Cincinnati Reds, and Baltimore Orioles that all need pitching. But there's a certain someone that stands out that not a lot of people are talking about. As you know, the biggest move the Mariners has made to this date, which obviously isn't very big, is Gino to the Diamondbacks for right-handed pitcher Carlos Vargas and catcher Seby Zavala, which to most fans leaves an open spot at third base, or a lot of people are even saying Luis Urias will play there to start the season, but a lot of fans don't really want him to be there. They kind of want him to be in that platoon role. So the guy that not a lot of people are talking about that's on the Tampa Bay Rays to fill that third base hole is Isaac Paredes. So let's kind of start off with his contract a little bit. So if the Mariners were to make a trade for him, they'd have 4 years of club control, and he would be a free agent in 2028. So kind of going back to talking about Gino and comparing the two stat-wise, Gino has obviously been on a decline. That 2023 season was not his best year, especially coming off 2 seasons in 2021 and 2022 where he hit 31 home runs apiece. This past year, he only hit 22. His strikeout rate is over 30%, and his walk rate is a little above 10%. He had a 102 WRC plus last year and hit 232. And I know Isaac Paredes isn't a huge name that a lot of people would really know too much about, but just to give you kind of some stats on him, this past year, he hit 250 with 31 home runs and 98 RBIs. He had a 10.2% walk rate and an 18.2% strikeout rate, which is significantly lower than Gino's strikeout rate, especially throughout his career. He's always been towards that 30% range. But Isaac and Gino both have a similar walk rate with a little bit over 10%. And last year, Isaac Paredes had a WRC plus of 137, which again is significantly higher than what Gino's was this past season. Gino did have a 980 fielding percentage last year, and Isaac Paredes had a 973, so there is a little bit of a difference there. Gino definitely has a better glove. And again, this was Isaac's best year of his entire career. He's been in the league for 4 years now, and this past season was definitely his best by far. His strikeout rate has always been low, though, so that is definitely something that stands out. His highest strikeout rate was when he was a rookie. He had a 22.2% strikeout rate, so that was his highest ever, which even then is still a significant difference between what Gino's has been his entire career. And also the biggest thing that also stands out about Isaac Paredes is he's going to come for cheap. He's a much cheaper option than some of your other options like Matt Chapman out there. Honestly, I think he's a better overall player than Matt Chapman. Maybe not defensively, but at least last year offensively, he's significantly better. I just think he could fill a big hole that we have at third base. Isaac brings a lot of juice to the lineup. If you ever watch him, he's a strictly pull hitter. He just tries to yank everything as far as he can, which is impressive considering his low strikeout rate. So yes, of course, the loss of Gino was huge for this team, but they have to go out and fill his shoes, whether with that's 2 other bats or filling a third baseman spot. But when you have what the Rays want and the Rays are willing to give up certain players, and obviously out of all the Rays we could choose from, we would want someone like Yandy Diaz or Randy Arozarena. That's just the obvious. But to get a player that would come for cheap and has a lot to offer at the third base spot would be a significant upgrade for us. And going back to some of the Seattle Mariners' biggest problem is their strikeout rate. Isaac really helps lower that and also brings a lot of production from the RBI side and even the power side. The guy just simply produces, and if we only had to give up a Miller and maybe a prospect for him, I think it's 100% worth it. I'd rather give up a Wu and a prospect for him, but I don't know what the Rays would look for in order to trade him. But either way, giving up a young arm and then a prospect for a guy that's going to come and produce, and you have 4 years of club control on him, I think it's 100% worth it. And no, if they do get Isaac Paredes, they still need to go out and get another big bat like Juan Soto or Cody Bellinger. But this is just a cheap option that can definitely fill a hole and definitely fill a need that the Mariners have. So I definitely think this is a guy the Mariners fans really need to start talking about more. Let me know in the comments whether you disagree or agree with this. I think it's a really good option for a cheap price. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know your opinion down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.